So we are going to do our workout today with two pieces of equipment. We've got our handy dandy band, and we're also going to use our friend, the stability ball. So two pieces. It's going to be super fun. So have your ball handy, grab your band, have it close to you on the mat, and let's go. Let's do this. So let's go ahead and start off. We'll be laying on our backs. We're going to connect with that good Pilates breathing just to get us going here. So your shoulders are spread out on the mat. We're taking deep breaths in your nose, out your mouth, contracting that diaphragm. Remember that forced exhalation pushes that diaphragm down. And then at the same time as we exhale, we're going to wrap that transversus, so belly button draws to the backbone. Feel that deep connection. And then the pelvic floor lifts up. So we have this downward pressure of the diaphragm and this upward pressure of the pelvic floor as that transversus wraps around. Just lying here and doing this deep breathing with that deep core connection is an amazing workout. You could just do that. Not for a whole 20 minutes, but you could do that for a while and get a good workout. Sometimes people will say they feel some cramping, and that's just getting used to using those pelvic floor muscles. Okay, ladies, let's go ahead and do a little bit of rocking here. So we're going to go, I'm going to move my arm out of the way, tipping into that imprinted spine, bring that low back down to the mat, and then we're going to bring it back up. You don't have to move your arm over your head like I am, but I just want you to be able to see my low back. Hopefully there's a color contrast here with the mat, and then I'm bringing it up. So we tip back into that lumbar spine. Remember to use your abs, not your feet and your glutes, and then bring it back up. We go two more, sealing the space between your ribs and hips. It's like little suspenders are shortening that space. Your pubic bone is coming up towards your rib cage. And final one, last time, bringing that rib cage and hip bones together right here. Sweet. And release it back out. Okay, now we're going to do a little bit of what we call a pelvic clock. This is a little bit different. I think we did it on the stability ball once. So on this, we're actually going to tip into your hip. So I'm going to start to my left. And then I'm going to come to just a little bit of an arch. Can you see how my spine is getting a little bit arched here? My pubic bone's pushing down. Then I'm going over to the right side. My right hip's going downward. And then my lumbar spine's going down. So if you think about it, I'm going around the clock here, or you can think about it like a bowl, and I'm swirling a marble around. So it's a small move. I'll move this arm back up. But we're just rolling that pelvis around. So my belly button is my clock center. And then those little arms are rolling around. And this might feel kind of tight in places for you. It's amazing because sometimes I feel it like in my inner thighs and my hips, because that's where some of the tightness that attaches to that pelvis are. Okay, now we're going to reverse it. So go down into your imprint, drop into your right hip, then arch the back, push the pubic bone down, and then roll over into the left hip. And keep going, swirling around. So down, 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 down. Swirling that pelvic clock around. This is actually a really good physical therapy exercise. Do you notice how my knees are staying pretty much up towards the ceiling? They're not swaying like this. So I'm just trying to make this movement happen out of my pelvis rather than the whole leg. Are we feeling the challenge here? It's an awareness exercise for sure, too. And let's go one more. Oh, yeah, good. All right, girls. Go ahead and tip into that imprint spine now, so the lumbar ceiling to the mat. We're going to bring your right knee into tabletop, your left knee into tabletop. Keep those shoulders down and back. Keep that lumbar squeeze to the mat, and then we'll bring the right leg back down. Left leg back down, and then come back into your neutral spine. I'll just keep my hands up so you can see. Again, imprint that spine. Bring your right knee up to tabletop, left knee up to tabletop. Close right here, those abdominals. Keep that lumbar spine attached down to the mat. And then one more time, bring that foot down, opposite foot down, and bring it back to neutral. All right, now we're gonna get serious. So we're all warmed up, right? Lumbar spine comes down to the mat. The right knee comes into tabletop. The left knee comes to tabletop. I'm gonna seal my knees together, moving my arms out to the side. I'm gonna practice my roll over here. So I'm flipping or tipping my hip bones back a little bit deeper and going ahead and getting the low back just a little bit off the mat if I can. So this is a tough one for a lot of us. Some of us is just a little bit of space there. But I want to keep graduating you, so I'm going to escalate this just for you to keep practicing to something to work for. So here's what I mean by that. I'm extending my legs now, and I'm lifting my hip bones up off the mat. You can bring weight into those palms, and then you want to work on the controlling it down. And then bringing those legs away from you. You don't have to go all the way low, just stay right about 90 degrees here. And I'll give you another little tip here. If you can't get up by yourself, what you can do, like I said, first of all, you can push into that mat there, or you can raise those hands behind your hips and then just practice that roll down. Excellent. And then moving those legs out of the way. And then let's go 2 more here. Rolling it down, control that roll down. Bring those legs away from you. And final one, tipping it. Ooh, get up there on those shoulders if you can. And then controlling that roll down. Now don't get frustrated, guys, if yours don't look anything like this. If you can just only do the rollover prep, then that's perfectly fine. Now grab your band. We're going to take that band and wrap it right around your feet. But I have a little pro tip here. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see. If you take the tip of the band and just kind of cuff your toes into it, just like that, then it's a little bit easier to keep that band on. So now I'm going to pull down to the tails, let those shoulders stay connected to the mat, and then I'm going to work just a little bit more into this rollover, letting the band kind of pull those toes forward so you can give it a little go here. Yes, and what you might find out is it's not necessarily a strength on the front part, your abs, but it might be a stretch on the back, so your low back and your hamstrings might be feeling this a little bit more. Just listen to your body, tune into it. Who's talking louder to you? So this is a great other way to get into this exercise. And that low back's getting work, the abdominals are getting work. It's beautiful. Let's go 3 more. And 2 more. Shoulders stay down and back. Tuck that chin in just a little bit. Perfect. All right, guys, now we're going to go ahead and bend our knees into tabletop, still keeping this band. And real important keys here is to keep your shoulders relaxed. So try to keep those shoulders down and back and your elbows soft onto the mat. I'm going to tuck my chin. My elbows are just bent at 90 degrees, and that's about the perfect length on that tail right here at my thighs. So I'm going to tuck my chin, come on up to a curl here, sliding those ribs to hips, and then I'm pressing my legs out. Big extension. Bring my knees back in, and then lay my head back down. Remember, I'm rolling through my rib cage to have that happen. So chin nod, tuck it, bring it up. 1, 2, extend my legs out. 3, bring my legs back in. 4, roll it back down slow. Good, keep going in that 4 count. So 1, come up. 2, extend those legs out. 3, bring those legs back in. 4, roll it back down. Let's do 2 more of this. Chin nod, come on up. Exhale, extend out. Squeeze your glutes, point those toes across the room. Bring it back in. Lower it back down. And final one, chin nod. Exhale. Pull that belly button to your backbone. Stretch those toes across the wall. I'm kind of kicking up on my elbows here. Kickstands. Bring it back in and lower it back down. Nice work. You can extend those legs back up in the air. I always like any chance I can get to get a hamstring stretch or a hip stretch. So this is a great thing to do. Awesome. All right, girls, we're going to take that up a notch now. So still using those elbows as like your kickstands. We're going to tuck that chin, come on up to the curl. Good, now hold the curl as we extend those legs out. We're going to pull them back in now. So it's an exhale out, inhale back in. See if you can hold that curl up. Excellent. Hang in, we got 5. And 4. Nice, we got 3. 2. Perfect. And final one. Exhale, press out. Inhale, bring it back in. Nice job. Okay, I'm going to change my feet position now. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see what I'm doing. You guys do not have to do this. But I'm connecting my heels and turning my feet out into that lateral rotation. At the same time, I'm still going to cup that band over the top, or cuff it over the top of my toes so it doesn't roll. That's a nicer way to hold on to it. So now I'm in this laterally rotated position. My elbows are down, and I'm going to bend my knees into tabletop. You can see how my knees are pointed out. My hands are on the outside, elbows still soft, shoulders still relaxed. Excellent. Okay, so chin nod. We come on up to the curl. Once again, we press those legs out, squeeze those inner thighs together, pull the knees back in, lower back down. So again, we go back to that 4 count. Exhale, come up, and then press those legs out, pull those knees back in, lay it back down. And it's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Belly button to your backbone. Squeeze those inner thighs, sit bones together. We go 2 more. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and final one. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Perfect. Okay, guys, now we go up into that single. So we go up and extend the legs at the same time, and then bring it back in. And if you can hold that curl, remember, soft on the neck, you want those eyes to go right about where your knees are, and really work on that extension. So I'm really working on pushing my toes across the room. I want this big stretch from hip bone to heel as I squeeze my glutes together. And I've just got a soft little kickstand here on my elbows as I curl up high. We got 4. And 3. Last 2. Squeeze it there, girls. And final one. Really reach those legs out. Protect that neck. And bring it back in. Woo! Little inner thigh work there. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay, so now we're going to play with just a little bit of a teeter-totter here. We're going to take the arms into this tripod position. My toes came back to parallel, as you can see. So we got this little triangular position. Shoulders are down and back. And I'm just going to start to rock here. See what you can do, tucking that chin, lifting it up to the chest. By the way, if you choke up on your band, you get a little bit more help. And as I'm doing this, I'm pushing my toes away. Yeah! Start to see how high you can come up. Part of it, I'm going to choke up a little more. Part of it is just kind of finding that balance on your pelvis, on those hips. So I'm kicking and rolling. Notice I'm not swinging, I'm just pressing down gently and then raising my chest. Now this is called teaser. It's a toughie, something to work for, but I wanted to give you guys things to work for today. Here's how I think about it. I think about my heart pressing to my knees. I imagine there's a little tether pulling my heart up to my knees. Maybe yours just looks like this today. That's perfectly fine. Check that chest, check those shoulders, check that neck. Really try to protect that neck. Perfect. We got 2 more. Yes. Last one. Something to work for, girls. Something to work for. Bring it back down. Yes. Okay. Going on to one more exercise with the band. This time I'm going to sit up. We're going to work on that roll up or roll down. Still capping the toes around the band. Sitting up straight. We're holding on to the tails as we tuck that pelvis and start to roll down one vertebrae at a time. So tuck your lumbar spine down, then one vertebrae at a time. and chin nod, use a band to help you get back up. Isn't that nice? And then lengthen up out of the crown of the head. I'll turn back to the side so you can see. This is the important part. Try to go down with control. Remember, the tighter the band is, the more control you're going to have, so you can choke up on that. It'll give you a little bit more stability. And then come down slow. Roll those shoulders back. Tuck the chin. And bring it back up. Don't forget the part where you're drawing that transversus in. That's your secret weapon there. That's where the money is pulling that belly button to your backbone. So right here, chin nod, belly button to the backbone, pull up. I know it's hard. I know there's a sticky spot right there. You can pull that band if you need to. And then bring it up. And then half roll back, full roll back, all the way down. Shoulders go down to the mat. Okay, let me show you something. If you really are doing well and you want to advance this, you can come to the very end of your tails. And so you're going to come on up. You're not using a whole lot of resistance as you come up. Yeah? And then as you come down, you're not using a whole lot of resistance. And we're going to add to this an overhead press. And then you come back, bring those arms to the side, roll up, raise that chest, roll down, bicep curl, overhead press, and bring it back. So a little variation if you're feeling like, I got this, I need something more, Wendy, give me more. Wherever you are right now is perfectly fine. It's where you belong. Embrace it. It's a journey. You're doing fabulous. Whew. We're going to do one more of these. And roll it up. Now, if your tail is way down here, it's going to be super hard to lift those arms up overhead. So just don't worry about that part, or just do that part and work on the roll up later. Okay, you guys ready for some ball work? Okay, we're going to use the ball between our legs as a longer lever. So it's going to be heavier with the ball between. So what I mean by that is I'm going to lift my legs up in the air, take the ball in between. Yes. All right, now coming on up into a curl here. I've got my hands behind my head to protect my neck, giving a squeeze on that ball with those inner thighs. I'm just going to lower it and lift it back up. Try to keep your low back sealed to the mat. We'll just do about 3 of these. One more. Sweet. Now I'm going to take the ball in between my hands, bring my legs together, and lift the ball up over my head, and then come back. So biceps are by my ears as I lift and reach, and then come back. And final one, lift and reach. Shoo, come back. Taking the ball between my legs again. So open those legs, let my hands come behind my head, lower. Maybe you want to challenge a little bit more. By the way, you can go into lateral rotation so your toes can point out on this one if you want. So I'm going to do that. Hollowing that belly, bringing that low back down to the mat. We got 3. You can see how I'm feeling it. 2. Shoo. And final 1. Excellent. Bringing that ball back up. I'm going to show you another variation. So last time I just moved my arms away and kept my legs up in the air. So this time, another added challenge. If you choose, you can move those legs away too. Make sure you're tipping that low back down to the mat, imprinting the spine so you protect it. Whew, we're going 4. And 3. Excellent job, you guys. 2 more. I know you're doing well. Final 1. And then bring it back up. And then this last time, I'm going to take the ball in between my legs. And I'm going to also do my arms overhead. If you choose, remember you can still do the hands behind your head, but the arms extended takes it up a notch. It's a longer lever as those hands go away from your body. We go 3 and 2. Final 1. And bring those hands and feet together and roll it back down. Yeah, great job. Okay, coming up now, we're gonna do another variation. This is gonna get those higher abdominals. And we're gonna go into a little bit of a plank. So my elbows are on the ball here. Maybe I should turn this side. My elbows are on the ball right at the side of it. And I'm just gonna start to let my hips come down into a neutral back position. So I'm a straight long line from my shoulders to my hips. And I can feel this pressure to hold my body up and the resistance, this instability of the ball, and it's working those upper abs. And now I'm gonna push my hip bones back up so I come into more of this little L shape. So this is all it is your elbows stay where they are, you press away, keep those shoulders down and back, drop those hip bones down towards your ball, and then pull into the abs as you push your hip bones back in the air. Now if you feel like you need a little more support, you can push your palms down. But we're gonna roll away, and then pull it back in. Hands can come down like this if you need a little bit better grip onto that ball. Yeah. Keep going, guys. We got 4. Shh. Pull it in. And 3. Let those shoulders stay down and back. Drop those hip bones. Squeeze. Pull it back in. Last 2. Rolling it away. Drawing it back in. And final 1. Roll it away. Draw it back in. Excellent work. Okay, I'm going to turn my ball over to this side so you guys can see this last little bit. Actually, coming all the way back down to the back of it. I'm going to hop on my ball, let my arms come out above it. Probably need to be back a little bit more just so we can get in the screen. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to start to walk out on the ball to my shins here. So my body is in this tight plank position. I'm really squeezing my glutes to help hold my hips up in the air, pull my shoulders down and back, and then I'm going to hug those knees up to my chest. So I'm drawing them in. First my hips come up in the air, and then my knees come to my chest. Yeah, so this is all ab work, pulling that in. I mean, it's ab and glute. The core work here, lifting that pelvic floor. We got 5 and 4 and 3. I know your arms are feeling it too. 2. Excellent. And final 1. Perfect job, you guys. Okay. Walking it back now. Take it just about to the top of your quad. So just right at the top of your quad. You're going to let your arms set again. So pull those shoulders down and back. Really pull those abdominals in. This last exercise is really telling. It's not going to look pretty on me either. But we're going to try to lift one leg up off the ball. So just a little leg lift. And then lower back down. And then go to the other side. Lift and lower. So it's a small leg lift. Really working that core. Tells you a lot. Lift. You can see I'm not coming up off the ball, but the ball gets a little bit softer. See how it reshapes? Shh. Yes, and the whole time you're doing this, you're trying to keep that ball from shifting from side to side. Now, as you get better at this, you can start to walk down to the knees and do it like this. And then maybe eventually to the ankles. But we're just going to start where we are today. This is not an easy task. Woo! Just gives you something to work for. I'm really working in my core here so I don't sink into my low back. Oh, and that's enough of this. We're bringing it back in. Carefully walk in. This is a good strategy on its own. And finding those feet back on the mat. Bring that ball right around to the front of you. And let's just do some stretching here. So let your body just collapse over the mat. Feels really nice. That low back is relaxing. Shoulders are down and back. Yeah. And just let your belly really pull into the ball here. So just dropping it in. Your hip bones are sliding down, or your sit bones are sliding down those thighs. And you're just allowing your body to curve and hug around the ball. Gives you a nice release. And then once again, just right here on the ball, turn to the side so I can see you a little better. Onto the ball here, we're going to practice some more of that deep breathing. So as your belly is falling into the ball, start to do that Pilates breath where you pull it up. And you're gently going to feel yourself drawing away from the ball and bringing your belly button to your backbone. It's also a good way to feel that pelvic floor lifting. So we're in an upright position here, and so you're gently going to draw that pelvic floor up. So it's good to feel these different engagements in different positions versus lying down. Now we're sitting up. The other day when I had you do an arm work, you were actually in an upright position. So a lot of different ways to feel that, and that way it gets more sealed into the brain. Keep practicing, feeling that pelvic floor lift, feeling those abs engage, letting the shoulders relax, not bringing any tension in those shoulders. Awesome, that's a great way to end. Yes, nice, thank you guys.